Just got out of the water, was surfing at in-betweens in town in Waikiki. Caught a couple of really fun waves. Like I dropped in on one, tucked into the side of the wave and was like, oh no, it's gonna close out. So I went and gathered some extra speed and then just ripped as fast as I could up into the lip and just rocketed myself off the backside. So yeah, that was super freaking fun. He is one of the most annoying experiences in the world, but it's also like, you know, something you kind of have to deal with. All right, so I made it out of Waikiki and now I'm on the Poly Highway. I want to talk about the surf session and something that I've been thinking about a lot. It's about relationships. So I'm going to use an analogy, and all analogies break down. So I caught a small but fun wave when I was out today. It wasn't the best wave of the day. It wasn't, you know, it wasn't the worst. It was fun. It was enjoyable. Anyway, so I caught the wave and then I turned around after riding it and I look, and on the horizon is just this beautiful, incredible, clean-faced right that I was not in the right position for. And I'm paddling and I'm paddling and I'm paddling, trying to get out to it, but like I know I'm not gonna catch it. Now I'm just trying to get past it. I'm just trying to get through it so it doesn't just crash on my head. And then I just barely managed to make it through that. And then like the wave of the day, beautiful, probably 8 to 10 foot face, clean, perfect, just at that lovely angle, like is there, and there is no way I could catch it. There's also no way I'm going to get through to the other side. I paddle as hard as I can, as fast as I can, and I try to duck dive it. I still take it on the head, and I just get rolled and pulled under and pulled all the way back, almost to where I had ridden that previous wave. All of my progress from my paddling is just destroyed by this one wave. It's about relationships. And it's about patience. So had I been patient and said, you know what, I'm not gonna go for that wave. I'm not gonna go for the small one that I went for largely out of frustration because there was long delays between sets, and it just wasn't a ton of waves, and I wanted more waves, right? I wanted to enjoy myself. And so I didn't wait. But if I had waited, I would have been in the right position for that second wave. And that second wave was truly beautiful. And if I had waited even past that, I would have been in the right position for the wave of the day. Now, I can't go back in time, right? But I'm thinking about that in terms of relationships, and how many times have I pursued something that I knew didn't have the oomph there. Like I knew something was off. I knew that we didn't have the same values, or I knew that I'd be moving away and it would be really difficult to maintain from a distance, or whatever. How many times in my impatience for a connection did I go for a wave that but ultimately just crashed on my head? When if I had waited and really read the scenarios of my life, really thought about and prayed about where I'm at, where I'm trying to go, and positioned myself for that right wave, if things might have worked out, if I might not be, you know, single at my age. And that's not to say that I, you know, will never get married or never have kids, but as you get older, you start to think more about it. You're like, man, I don't know if this is in my future. I don't know if that's a blessing that God has for me. But thinking about those waves today, it's just, how many times have I gone for what was close, it was present, it was easy, even though I knew it wasn't exactly the best, and then missed what was beautiful and wonderful because I tried to force something that was just closer because I wasn't being patient. And maybe that's you. Maybe you've done the same thing. But what that means, at least for me, is I need to be really careful about what I pursue. Because pursuing the wrong relationship can and does pull you far out of position for the right relationship. Because pursuing the wrong relationship also creates in you the negative components of breakups and heartbreak and lack of trust. It creates in you those things that carry into the next relationships. And every time you have a difficult relationship that you give up on, you actually make it harder for you to get back to a position where you would be ready for that really beautiful wave. So are you pursuing a relationship just for the fun of it? Are you doing it just for the experience? Whatever. Like, are you pursuing the right relationships? And are you positioning yourself in life, especially as men, right? So I'm talking to men here. Women, I don't know you. I don't know how you work. I'm not going to pretend. But for men, are you positioning yourself to fulfill the roles that you need to fulfill, the godly demands that are made on you in order to be a husband? And then, and only then, pursuing romance? Or are you trying to do it the other way around? Look, for over a decade, I was basically just trying to do it the other way around. I wasn't the man that I needed to be. I could provide, from a physical standpoint because of my job, but I wasn't the man that I needed to be to provide spiritually and to provide emotionally to a woman or to a wife. And that's something that I have to continually go back to the Lord and grow. I'm not in that position yet. Now, if you're waiting to be 100% ready, you're never going to be 100% ready. There's some falls and failures that need to happen. But the point I'm making is not that you need to wait to be 100% ready. You'll never have perfect positioning on a wave. But you get better at positioning. You get better at reading the scenarios. And you don't get better by being like, oh, I'm going to go date a whole bunch of people. You get better at understanding and positioning yourself in relationships by deepening in the relationships that you already have. In friendship relationships, in the relationships with your siblings, with your family. These things transfer, and ultimately with the relationship with God. But you need to position yourself. The most practical positioning stuff is like, do you have a job? Can you provide? And those things are relatively simple. They're not easy, but they're simple. The others are the protection. Are you able to protect her? Are you capable of that? If the answer is no, you're not there yet. There is a threshold that you need to meet that is ready. The threshold is not perfection, but the threshold is there. And when we think about, or when I think about those waves that I caught today, and I caught a couple of banging great waves, but when I think about the waves that I missed because I was out of position, I don't want to get too worried about it. I take that as a lesson and move forward, right? I can't go back and change the fact that I missed those waves because I was out of position. All I can do is learn to read the waves better and learn to position myself better so that when the right wave does come, I'm ready for it and I'm in the right place to catch it. Hopefully that is an encouragement to you. Just because you've missed some waves, maybe you got rolled over, pulled under, dragged back, and feel like you're far from where you ever want to be in relationships. Like, you can get back out to the break. You can. It's going to take some time. It's going to take some energy. But you can get there. By God's grace, you will get there. But don't miss the lesson of patience. Make sure to wait for the right relationship. Thanks for listening. It's been another, actually it's kind of a drab day, so maybe this was the right way to talk about this. Anyway, this has been the Civil and Sword. Like, if you just want to learn more about surfing, I have a whole series on surfing and sanctification. That's also on the blog. Check it out. And then like and subscribe. I talk about relationships and I talk about life with Christ, just daily Christian living type stuff, and games and random things. This is a pretty random channel. I'm just going to be real. And I think random is my niche. People who like a lot of different kinds of things. Thanks for listening. Soli Deo Gloria.